Strap in, this is a wild ride. It is from the anti-work subreddit. First time I'm seeing that. My boss opened a credit card in my name and did the same thing to 2 coworkers. Oh, right off the rip. That is no bueno. As if being underpaid at my job isn't enough, I just found out that my boss opened up a credit card in my name. I work at a mom and pop type business in graphic design, and my boss is the same guy who hired me. 2 days ago, I got a call from Capital One asking about unusual charges on my credit card. The rep went over a couple of charges, and I had literally no idea what she was talking about. I told them it looked like those charges weren't on my app, and the rep said she tried calling at a different phone number, but it was disconnected. She confirmed I had 2 credit cards through them, but I only have 1. The rep told me my other account, my actual account, had no strange charges, but a different one, opened only in December, was nearing its credit limit, and there were 2 large charges at different Walmart stores. I asked for the address on the accounts, and one was mine. The other, which I had no idea about, was the home address for my boss. They canceled the card and said I might get contacted by their fraud department. Yesterday, I told my team about it, and 2 of them immediately chimed up that they had their identity stolen last month with credit cards opened up in their name. The boss, who works remotely, told about a dozen of us at the end of November that we needed to fill out updated W-9s because the company was moving to a new system and send them to him. One of them ran home on lunch and grabbed the letter they were sent from the credit card company. The phone number is 1 number off of our boss's cell phone number, and the address is to a UPS store in the town where he lives. I've put up with a lot working here, but this is absolutely the last straw. The work environment is middling at best, but the pay is horrible. I'm calling in sick today and starting to look for something else that actually works for me and pays at least what I'm worth. What else should I be doing other than calling the cops? This is, yeah, that's a felony. That's, I mean, call the cops first thing and talk through with them and figure out what you need to be doing here. Talk to a lawyer. Like there needs to be, holy crap. Edit. Thanks so much for the advice. I'm going to post an update as soon as I have one. And we do have the update here as well, but that is, yeah. Oh, this is like a group lawsuit. Like how many people do you have to have a class action? I don't know. But this is nuts. How does it even happen? And also, how desperate do you have to be to start opening up credit cards in other people's names? Like, how is that an option? How is that the route that you think is going to save you? That's just deciding to take a whole bunch of other people down with you. That's terrible. Okay, update 1. My company put the manager on unpaid leave a couple of days after they were contacted by a detective about the open cards. 4 of us ended up filing police reports on the same day. A couple days later, I got an alert from the credit monitoring company saying someone tried opening a Discover card in my name. They put a stop to that. Still freaking doing it after people found out? One of my coworkers got a call back from the detective on Tuesday and told him a judge signed off on a warrant for identity theft. I forget the exact term for the criminal complaint last week. Apparently, the detective was able to get video footage from a store of our boss using a credit card registered in the coworker's name. Our boss also drove a car registered to him and from the store, all visible on surveillance. The detective said the sheriff's department or state's attorney department made sure to include the boss's state in the extradition limits for the warrant. My coworker said the reason the detective called was because the detective was called by another detective in the city where our boss lives. Cops in that city have tried pulling him over 3 times in the last month, with the last time being on Monday. All 3 times he just doesn't stop. What? Is that an option? Wait, they tried pulling him over, but all 3 times he just didn't stop? I didn't know that was an option. Wait, what? The place has a 0 pursuit policy, so they have to let him go, and they think he might be armed. What the Okay, hold on a second. How is it that Washington State has a no pursuit law? I understand, you know, pursuits can put additional people in danger, and they're doing this to limit collateral damage. But the problem with the no pursuit policy is that criminals then know that you have a no pursuit policy, and all they have to do is run. This doesn't seem like a foolproof plan here. Doesn't seem like a good idea. Or if you are going to do that, you have to have some alternative that prevents the chase from happening or being needed in the first place, right? You can't just say, oh, if you run, we're not going to chase you. That's pretty much it. That's just the extent of it. The house where he is supposed to be living is emptied out as well. The detective from my city told my coworker he's still waiting on other surveillance footage in regards to the rest of the complaints, including mine, and they'll likely be added on as additional counts, but they want to get him into custody first. From what it sounds like, he'd have to go through the system on his felony eluding charge first. Then it could be extradited here to see a judge about the identity theft. Wow. Edit, I followed the advice from this post. Comments, OP references here. You need to tell all of your coworkers to check their credit immediately. You're also going to want to call the police like today. If he did it to you and a couple of others, my guess is he's probably doing it to every single person who sent him that W-9. I'd take a couple of immediate steps if I were you. Get a police report, because if the credit card companies think you might be lying, they'll do what they can to screw you over. Start a credit monitoring service like this one and check your credit. If he's opening one credit card in your name, he might have opened several. Freeze your credit so that he can't do any more damage. You said you work for a small company. I don't know if you have an HR department, but that would be my next stop. If you don't, time to hit up the owners, but don't tell them you're about to leave. Okay, we have another update to go through here. Box him in. Yeah. Tax strips, something. This is
the update where it gets wild.
Oh, it's not wild yet? Wow. Here we go. Update 2. Final update. I had mostly forgotten about this post until a few days ago. Wouldn't say it was a happy ending. The silver lining is that it only took about 3 weeks and the card that wasn't mine was out of my name. My credit score went up like 90 points. I also started a new job with a decent pay bump and far more time off. A couple of months ago, my old boss, who was fired, ended up getting unalived in a car accident. Wait, what the f is happening? About a day later, it came out that he had most likely unalived an elderly woman and stole her car. Her daughter went to her house, and when she didn't answer the phone and found her mother unalived and her car and purse missing. His car was parked on the street a block away. Apparently, he fled police stops another 3 or 4 times before crashing into a metal electric pole with no seatbelt. He was fleeing from the police again in the stolen car. They found illegal substances and a pew-pew inside. Okay, well, I guess the no chase policy doesn't really keep any people safe now, doesn't it? Because this kind of shit happens. I got a call from a lawyer because I was one of the ones who reported the credit card fraud. We talked for maybe 10 minutes about what happened to me, and he filled me in a bit about what happened since. There are now 2 lawsuits going through the works, supposedly. One is from the family of the woman he probably unalived. They are saying the police failed to apprehend him before she got unalived. That lists all the police departments and cities involved. Wow. The other is from his family going after the sheriff's department and county, which chased him and led to the crash. I doubt I have to testify, as the lawyer was mainly concerned about the specific events leading to me knowing it was my old boss who stole my identity. It sounds to me like everyone is going for settlement money. Just figured I'd let everybody know what happened. Too long don't read, he won't be stealing anyone else's identity anymore. Holy shit. God, can you imagine being wrapped up in this mess in any way, shape, or form? Can you imagine just having your life turned upside down by somebody who just like flagrantly is just like, I'm taking everybody down with me, and gives 0 shits about who they harm and how in the process. This had to be some kind of addiction fueling, or I don't know. Like there's desperation, and then there's just madness. And desperation will cause you to do some crazy things, but addiction will cause you to do this kind of shit. Now all the people in this case now suing police departments because of the shit that happened and they failed to apprehend him. I guess that's one of the downsides of that no pursuit policy. I don't know. They definitely do pursuits here. So, man, I just can't imagine being in this mess at all.